You already know where we're going with this. Another day, another converse. Okay, we can stop with that. I think you get the idea, right? Like, Quinn Hughes trade talks are so rampant and active at the moment that we are just going to continue talking about everything that gets discussed because there's no reason not to. Until the guy actually does get moved, we have no reason to stop or slow down even, because every few days there's a new thing coming out about Vancouver's captain. It's an inevitability at this point. He is going to get traded. Same thing that happened last year. One of Miller or Petey was going to get traded, and by the time we realized that it would have been Miller, guess what? He did get moved. Anyways, what I wanted to do in talking about Quinn Hughes and his trade situation right now was dive into the idea of Quinn getting traded to the New Jersey Devils. Now, I know you can say that that idea may be a little bit premature at this stage of Quinn Hughes and his trade saga. Is it fair to call it a saga? That's like exactly what's going on right now, isn't it? But because of the fact that his two brothers happen to be on New Jersey, and because of the fact that it's already been confirmed by Elliot Friedman that the Devils and Canucks have had trade talks regarding Quinn, I'd say that just by default, the Devils are technically ahead of every other team. That's not to say that they have the best assets to offer or that they are the most likely to actually get it done. I'm just saying they're the furthest along. So, cue all the Detroit Red Wings fan speculations on Quinn Hughes and the Flyers and the Capitals and the Rangers and the Penguins and all these other teams that are getting named as potential targets. New Jersey technically is number one. Which is why, if we go over to what Darren Dreger said on Sakaris and Price earlier this week, on December 8th, so what was that, Monday? Yeah, it was Monday. Darren Dreger spoke out about the Quinn Hughes situation with New Jersey. It's not just about making the cap work for the Devils. Vancouver is going to need a boatload back. Very specific pieces that would help the Canucks stay competitive this season, if we're talking about an in-season Hughes trade. And this tweet got a lot of attention. For various reasons. Firstly, you had a lot of fans, Canucks fans and otherwise, going out there and memeing on the idea of Vancouver acquiring pieces that would help them stay competitive this season, as if they were competitive in the National Hockey League in 2025-2026. It's not like they're literally last place in the entire gosh darn league. Am I right, Jim Rutherford, or am I right? But the idea gets even more interesting when you acknowledge this first point mentioned by Dregs. It's not just about making the cap work. The Canucks are going to need to get some stuff back. Lafreniere for MVP, Fire Drury, goes out there and says, "Thank you, holy crap. This is why I keep saying Hischier or Bratt have to be in the package. Hughes is a top 10 player in the league, LMAO." And you can see this had 19 replies. I would send them both, the Devils' Cognoscenti goes out there and says. Vancouver could get both of these guys and still not contend for 5 years. They need to bottom out and get high-end elite talent, which those players and middling picks will not do for them. LOL, good luck with that, Canucks. The Devils will see Quinn in 1.5 seasons giving up 0 assets, and every other team in the league knows this. Rutherford made sure they knew. LOL, why would the Devils do that? Just wait and get him for nothing. The Devils won't trade Nico or Bratt. We just wait until 2027. He wants to play with his brothers. He's going to sign as a free agent in New Jersey anyway, so why would New Jersey want to go out there and make this trade now? And it is a fair idea to fight back against, I would say. Hey, why would the Devils go out there and make a significant push for Quinn when they already know he wants to go there? But that's the thing, right? Now that Elliot Friedman is going out there and talking about the idea of Quinn Hughes getting traded elsewhere, and you have Jeff Merrick going out there on his own show talking about how Quinn Hughes could potentially, maybe, by some sliver of the imagination, find himself a long-term home in a place that's not New Jersey, now things get a little more interesting, and all of a sudden the Devils may not have the luxury to just sit back and wait for Quinn Hughes to inevitably become a free agent in 2027. We already spoke about this in a previous video on the channel. Which one was it? It was the trade leverage video from a few days ago. Here you go. It's this one here on the right. We spoke about in this commentary about how the Vancouver Canucks might actually have some extended leverage that we didn't realize because of the fact that the CBA is going to change soon, and because right now you're allowed to sign 8-year contract extensions to players when they become extension eligible. By the time September 2026 rolls around, though, you won't be able to give out 8-year deals. So all of a sudden, that puts Vancouver in a much better spot to say, hey, if you want Quinn Hughes for the longest amount of time possible, you're going to have to pay up and give that trade to us now rather than in 2026 or in 2027's trade deadline period, for example. You can sign him for 8 years if you make the trade within the next 10 months or so. And so for New Jersey, the fact that it's not just about making the money work, Vancouver is going to need a bunch of stuff back. They want to stay competitive this season. This all of a sudden opens the door for some win-now pieces. And I get it. You can say, Lego, why would you want win-now pieces like Jesper Bratt, who is 27, or Nico Hischier, who is 26? I understand the idea that these guys wouldn't really be like the most rebuild-friendly type of assets to acquire in a Quinn Hughes trade. But I would say that these guys are genuine NHL superstars that if they were to be added to the Vancouver Canucks, it makes the impact of losing Quinn Hughes not that bad. And on top of this, if it's a Nico Hischier or a Jesper Bratt going over for Quinn, I wouldn't assume it's a one-for-one deal. I think that New Jersey would still need to add on a bunch of stuff. The Devils have already gone through their share of ups and downs this season, especially with the Jack Hughes injury, but if Quinn Hughes gets added to that New Jersey team, who's to guarantee that they will start to contend and be a super top-tier team immediately if they weren't already seen as one? That's all to say that if the Devils send over an unprotected first to Vancouver, if you lose out on one of Bratt or Hischier, or maybe even both, and you get Quinn Hughes coming in return, maybe a first-round pick looks really good if it comes from New Jersey. Who really knows? Also, hedonistically, I would love to see a captain-for-captain swap happening in the National Hockey League again. Quinn Hughes, Nico Hischier. I mean, when was the last time we saw a deal where two captains got traded for each other? Was it Ryan Callahan, Martin St. Louis in 2014? Like, that was a long freaking time ago. It's been a decade. Yeah, no, look at me going out there and just trying to bring up some NHL novelty fun facts to make arguments on whether or not I want to see guys getting traded or not. But ultimately, if you look at the dollars, Quinn Hughes is making $7.85 million a year. Jesper Bratt's making $7.87. Nico Hischier is making $7.25. These guys are all in the same age range as Quinn Hughes. So if you were going to have issues adding on a Quinn to the roster, you might have needed to add on one of these guys anyway. Because let's face it, if New Jersey were to take their $4 million guy and a $3 million guy and a whole bunch of picks, that's probably not good enough. They would need to get some top-tier talent coming back to Vancouver. And Jesper Bratt, he's a guy that I think fits the bill. He had 88 points last year. He's a stud. Nico Hischier, top-line center material. I know Jack Hughes exists, but he is a super solid player. 80 points in 81 games a few years ago, too. And he is at 71 points on the pace this season. Nico Hischier is an absolute G. There's a lot of value that Vancouver can get if one of these two guys is available in that Quinn Hughes trade. And let's face it, if New Jersey needs to start thinking about what big-name assets they can include, this might need to be where they start thinking about it, because other teams are going to drive the price up. And Quinn Hughes, you can say that there's leverage for him and his party in the Vancouver Canucks because teams would want to get him to an 8-year deal. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this idea? Do you think a Bratt or a Hischier trade return is possible from New Jersey's POV? Do you think the Devils would do that if it meant reuniting the three Hughes brothers together? And how much do you think Hughes ends up re-signing for in the upcoming event that he's able to get an extension with a team like New Jersey a year from now? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you like this idea? Do you not? Would Hischier or Bratt be a meaningful addition to the Canucks? Thoughts in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.